In this video, I'll talk about working with numerical variables in Python. This includes setting values, then reading them, performing arithmetic operations, and using some helpful shortcuts to simplify your code. With Python's dynamic typing, you don't have to declare the type explicitly. Instead, Python's interpreter reads the value you assign and applies the correct type. This makes declaring variables in Python simple and efficient. In this code example, I have declared two variables. The first variable, apples, is set to 12. Python interprets this as an integer variable which is used to store whole numbers. Then there's price per apple, which is set to 0.75. Since this value includes a decimal, Python automatically recognizes it as a float or floating point number. Floats are used whenever you need to store numbers with decimal points, which is useful for calculations that require precision, like prices, measurements, or averages. We can display these variable values in the console using the print function. Now to perform some basic arithmetic calculations using our variables in Python. First, we calculate the total cost of buying apples by multiplying the number of apples by the price per apple. This operation gives us the total amount spent on apples and stores it in the total cost variable. Next, we use subtraction to apply a fixed discount. We subtract 2 from the total cost to get the discounted price, storing this in the variable discount. We then add 5 to the apples variable to represent purchasing extra apples. This result is stored in extra apples variable. Finally, we use division to calculate average price, which divides the total cost by apples to get the average price per apple. Once we've performed these calculations, we can display the results using the print function. The modulus operator, represented by the percent symbol, is used to find the remainder when one number is divided by another. It is a useful tool in programming for checking even or odd numbers, cycling through values, and determining divisibility. In this example, apples is set to 12. When we apply the modulus operator as apples percent 2, we're asking, what is the remainder when 12 is divided by 2? The result of this operation is stored in a new variable called remainder. When we run this code, the remainder is 0 because 12 divides evenly by 2 without leaving any remainder. This tells us that apples is an even number. In general, if you divide a number by 2 and the remainder is 0, then the number is even. If the remainder is 1, the number is odd. Python doesn't have the plus plus or minus minus operators you might see in other languages used to increment or decrement a variable by 1. Instead, we use plus equal and minus equal to adjust variable values directly. To increment the value of apples by 1, we write apples plus equal 1. This is shorthand for saying apples equals apples plus 1. After this line, apples will have the value 13. Now let's decrement the value of price per apple by 0.1, using price per apple minus equal 0.1. This operator works in the same way, but it subtracts instead of adding. So after this line, price per apple will be 0.65. Formatting numerical output in Python allows you to control how numbers are displayed, making your data more readable and suitable for specific contexts, such as financial reports, scientific papers, or user interfaces. Here we have a variable price set to 1234.567. If we want to display this value rounded to 2 decimal places, we use the format method. The .2f notation tells Python to format the number as a float with exactly 2 decimal places. In financial applications, it's common to format numbers as currency. To format the price with both commas and a dollar sign, we use the format method to add commas for thousands and keep 2 decimal places. We can then prepend a dollar sign to make it look like standard currency. When we execute the code, we can see the nicely formatted values in the console. In this short video, we explored the fundamentals of working with numerical variables in Python. from assigning values and performing key operations to formatting the display. Keep practicing these skills and make sure to visit breakpointcoding.com for more detailed tutorials. Don't forget to subscribe for more coding insights and tips.